My name is Amara Okonkwo. I am 28 years old, and until very recently, I worked as an executive assistant at a FTSE 100 fintech giant headquartered in Canary Wharf. Or at least that's what everyone, including my husband Theo, believed. The truth is far more complicated. My real surname is Harrington, and Sir Reginald Harrington, the CEO, is my father. I chose to keep my mother's maiden name, Okonkwo, and start at the very bottom so no one would ever know who I really was, Amara. My father had told me 5 years ago, if you truly want to join the firm, you need to understand how it runs, starting from the mailroom floor. I accepted the challenge. I graduated with a first in economics from LSE, but joined as an executive assistant using my mother's Igbo surname to dodge any hint of nepotism. It was in my second year that I met Theo Beaumont. He was a sharp, charming sales director with a public school accent and a Rolodex that could open doors in the city. We fell hard and fast, or so I thought. "You're different from the other girls in the office," he told me after our first date at a rooftop bar in Shoreditch. "You've got class, even if you're just an assistant." I should have clocked the just, but I was too smitten. We married after dating for 11 months. My father, who kept strict professional distance at the office, wasn't convinced. "Are you sure, Amara?" he asked over Sunday roast at the Chelsea townhouse. "There's something about him I don't trust." "Dad, Theo loves me for me, not for what I have." "He doesn't even know you're my father." "That's exactly my point," he replied. But he walked me down the aisle anyway. The first 2 years were convincing. We lived in a modest 2-bed in Bethnal Green that matched our supposed combined income. Theo often moaned that, given his senior title, we should be in Notting Hill. "I don't understand why old man Harrington hasn't fast-tracked me to MD yet," he'd grumble over Nindar craft beers. "I'm the best closer in the building." Everything shifted when Cressida Cress Von Lyons joined as head of marketing. Old money, Sloane Square penthouse, and never missed a chance to remind us. At first, I thought nothing of the late nights working on the pitch deck. Then came the 1 a.m. WhatsApps, the sudden phone face down when I walked into the kitchen, the faint trace of Joe Malone lime basil and mandarin on his collar that wasn't mine. "You're paranoid," he'd laugh when I asked. "Cress and I are just colleagues." But one Tuesday, while tidying the boardroom after a client breakfast, I overheard them through the glass. "When are you ditching the assistant?" Cress's cut glass vowels. "You deserve someone with real pedigree." "Soon, darling," Theo murmured. "I just need to manage it delicately. No office drama." My stomach turned to ice, but 5 years of pretending had taught me steel. That night, I came home to Theo pacing our narrow hallway, tie askew. "We need to talk," he said flatly. "About Cress?" My voice was calm. Too calm. His eyes flickered. "Yes. Look, Amara, this isn't working. We're from different worlds." "Different worlds?" "Cress can open doors you never could. Her family has connections, capital, status. Our marriage? Let's be honest. You're an executive assistant. I need a partner who can accelerate my career." The front door clicked. Cress swept in, Louboutins clicking like punctuation. "Did you tell her?" She smirked. "Cress is offering me a directorship at Von Lyons Capital," Theo continued. 320K base plus bonus. I'm done pretending we're equals. I inhaled the scent of our tiny flat, instant coffee, his overpriced cologne, and felt 5 years of secrets click into place like a magazine. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number I never used at work. "Dad, it's me. Remember you wanted to meet my husband properly? How about tomorrow, 9 a.m., your office?" Theo went the color of skimmed milk. "Dad?" I smiled serenely. "Oh, didn't I mention? Sir Reginald Harrington, CEO, is my father. Funny how the worlds flip, isn't it?" Cress actually staggered. 9 o'clock sharp, I confirmed. "Both of you will be delighted to attend." Next morning, I arrived at 6:30. The wharf was still half asleep, gulls wheeling over the Thames. Whispers rippled through the open plan. Is she really the CEO's daughter? Aisha, my fellow EA and now friend, caught my arm by the Nespresso machine. "Why on earth did you start as an assistant?" "Because Dad always says you can't lead what you don't understand," I replied. pouring her a flat white. At 8:55, Theo and Cress stepped out of the lift. Theo looked like he'd slept in a suit. Cress clutched a Hermes Kelly like a life raft. "Good morning," I greeted from my old desk. "Sir Reginald is ready." Theo tried to whisper, "Amara, please, let's sort this privately." "Privately?" I echoed. "Like the way you plan to dump the simple assistant?" Cress tried charm. "We all make mistakes. Let's keep it professional." "Oh, Cress, it's about to be excruciatingly professional." The double doors to the corner office swung open. Dad stood there, charcoal bespoke, cufflinks glinting like warnings. "Good morning," his voice carried down the corridor. "Do come in." Inside, silence pressed like altitude. Dad sat behind the mahogany desk, fingers steepled. "So," he began, "I finally meet my son-in-law and his associate, Sir Reginald," Theo stammered. "Explain what exactly?" Dad cut in. "How you've been deceiving my daughter. Or the emails I've seen?" Cress blanched. Dad slid a cream folder across the leather. "Fascinating chain where you two discuss funneling our proprietary algo data to Vaughan Lyons Capital." "That's a lie," Cress squeaked. Dad pressed the intercom. "Harriet, send in legal, please." 3 barristers in pinstripes entered, briefcases heavy with evidence. Market strategies, client lists, stress test models, all forwarded to external accounts, the lead counsel stated. Theo slumped. "I was just securing my future." "Your future?" I said quietly. "What about the vows we made in that registry office in Hackney?" Dad's voice softened. "Amara, do you wish to press charges?" I looked at Theo, really looked. The man I'd loved had chosen a LinkedIn title over a marriage. "Yes," I said. "Proceed." "You can't!" Cress shrieked. "My family has influence." Dad gave a dry laugh. "Ms. Vaughan Lyons, your family is 3 months from administration. Why do you think you needed our data so badly?" Cress's mouth opened, closed. "You are both terminated effective immediately," Dad continued. "Security will escort you to clear your desks. We expect contact from your solicitors regarding espionage charges." Theo dropped to his knees on the Wiltern rug. "Amara, I love you." I looked down with something close to pity. "The saddest part, Theo? I loved you enough to live in a Bethnal Green flat, to hide my name, to prove you loved me. And you failed." Security arrived, 2 polite but firm ex-Marines. As they were marched out, Cress hissed, "All this to prove a point?" "No, Cress," I smiled. "To prove character isn't measured by your postcode or your trust fund." The door shut. Dad hugged me. "I'm sorry, darling. I should have vetted him harder." "No, Dad. I needed to learn it myself." The next months were a whirlwind. Word spread faster than the Northern Line in rush hour. Some colleagues who'd always been kind stayed kind. Others who'd once asked me to fetch a latte, there's a love, now tripped over themselves in the lifts. Tiffany from comms cornered me. "I always knew you had potential." "Really?" I smiled. "Because I remember you saying assistants should know their lane." My new office had floor-to-ceiling views of the Shard, but I still popped down to the EA pod most mornings. One Tuesday, Aisha burst in, iPad glowing. "You have to see this." City AM headline: Vaughan Lyons heiress arrested in corporate espionage sting. Cress had form. 5 previous employers. Theo took a plea deal, turned Queen's evidence, now facing 2 years. That afternoon, a handwritten letter arrived on prison paper. "Dearest Amara, I was blinded by ambition. I did love you, your laugh on the Northern Line, your terrible lasagna, but I let greed win. My biggest regret isn't losing the job or my freedom. It's losing you. Theo." I slipped it into a drawer. Some apologies are postage stamps on a sinking ship. 1 year later, at the firm's Christmas party in the Sky Garden, Dad took the mic. "For 30 years I've steered this ship. Time to hand the helm to the next generation. From January, my daughter Amara Harrington will be your new CEO." The room erupted. Aisha, now my chief of staff, had tears on her cheeks. "Your dad must be bursting," she whispered. "He is," I smiled. "But not because I inherited it, because I earned it." A week later, Clearing my old EA desk, I found our wedding photo. Theo in morning suit. Me in borrowed ivory from Rice. Both grinning like idiots. Dad appeared in the doorway. "You all right?" "Yes," I said, sliding the photo into a box. Hiding my name was the best decision I ever made. It showed me who people really are, including me. He smiled. "Your mother would be proud. She always said character is how you treat those who can do nothing for you." That night, I drove past the Bethnal Green flat. New curtains, new lives. My phone buzzed. Aisha. "Ready for tomorrow's board?" "The new promotion policy is causing chaos." I grinned. 2 years ago, I was the one sending those 7 a.m. calendar invites. In my new Notting Hill Muse house, I keep one small reminder. My old EA badge framed beside my LSE degree and the brass CEO nameplate. When visitors ask why, I tell them this story about a girl who started at the bottom, a marriage broken by greed, and how sometimes you lose everything to gain wisdom. Because true success isn't the corner office or the 7-figure bonus. It's the integrity you carry and the lives you lift on the way up. Every morning I walk past employees who greet me with real respect, not because of my surname, but because of who I've proven to be. And the new company motto I wrote myself now hangs in the lobby. True value is not in the role you hold, but in how you hold it. Did you like the story? Which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you loved it, you can support me with a super thanks so I can keep bringing more life stories like this. Thank you for your lovely support. I can't wait to read your thoughts. On screen, you'll see 2 new stories I highly recommend. There's so much more on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect.